Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, I'm KingNido and today we're coming in from Ulu Island where the Macros and the Mahogany Explorers are finally going head to head, and this could have been a battle between two undefeated sides, but for the first time in after a 10-game win streak, the Explorers have lost and the Macros are looking to capitalize. So with that said, let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win this matchup. Will it be the Steel types? Will it be the Ice types? Let's go!
3, 2, 1, go!
But that is right, after their 10-game win streak, the Mahogany Explorers last round finally were defeated, but they are staying out with Avalugg and Lapras, the two Pokemon they actually finished off with last round. It is going to be Copperajah and Hisui and Goodra starting out for the Macros, and immediately a Frenzy Plant from Lapras onto Goodra, which Goodra is able to tank that not very effective move, and it is going to respond with the Luster Purge, and the Macros are sitting pretty on top of the leaderboard at the moment, and they do not want to lose this matchup. They want to continue their undefeated streak. They've won 6 games this season, as Copperajah is going to give itself a great defense boost there, and we get the Uproar from Avalugg. Speaking of very defensive Pokemon, unfortunately that's not very effective there on Copperajah, but it is going to be making an Uproar. Is that Collision? Avalugg and Lapras does have to recharge after that Frenzy Plant. That allows for the Scratch from Goodra onto Lapras, and Copperajah is going to follow it up with the Super Sonic, but that is going to be avoided by Lapras, avoiding that confused state as the Uproar does continue here from Avalugg, and it continues to be not very effective on the Steel types with their heavy resistance, as Lapras is going to go for the Ice Punch though, which is also not very effective. The Explorers will not be able to capitalize on their stab. The Sleep Powder is not going to work on Avalugg, who is causing the Uproar, but Copperajah is going to go for the Mystical Fire. Gets an okay hit there on Lapras, but it has lowered its special attack in the process, as that Uproar will come to an end here on Copperajah from Avalugg, who will calm down, but it was able to avoid that Sleep Powder. Lapras is going to dig its way underground, burying its way there. It will be able to avoid moves, as the Hammer Arm from Goodra does go for Lapras. It should have gone for Avalugg. Copperajah needs to go for Avalugg here, and it goes with the attack order, but it as well goes for Lapras. Avalugg will be able to capitalize here, and it goes with the Sacred Fire, gets a great hit onto Goodra, and it's left it with that burn. That could be massive. It is going to be doing passive damage, but it's also going to cut into that physical attacks that is base 100, and there is that burn on Goodra, who goes for the high horsepower, but yet again, actually it goes for Avalugg. Avalugg's able to avoid it, and Lapras goes with the dig. That's super effective on Copperajah, as Copperajah is going to respond with the Belly Drum, but it does not have enough health to do so, so it is going to fail. This allows Avalugg to go with the Aerial Ace onto Goodra, not very effective, and it has activated that gooey ability that is going to slow the speed of Avalugg, not the hit mines. It's already the slowest Pokemon on the field. It's only got that base 28 speed. And Lapras follows it up with the Ceaseless Edge, and they've taken Goodra out of this matchup. Lapras will have its speed cut into, but they've taken the early lead over the Macros. Can the Explorers pull this off? If they only lose one Pokemon in this matchup, they could actually jump the Macros, although that would be an extremely impressive feat over the Steel types. The Gastro Acid here from Copperajah on to Avalugg is going to suppress its ability as well, but Avalugg is going to respond with the Echoed Voice. Very little damage there being done to Copperajah, as out comes Magnezone for the Macros, and it is going to land in those spikes, as the Topsy-Turvy onto Avalugg here is going to cause it so that all its stat changes do get inverted, which actually makes it quicker, and it's going to go for the Bind. It's now currently at least the second quickest Pokemon on the field. It is going to be not very effective onto Copperajah there, but it is going to be continue to be squeezed by Avalugg, as Lapras follows it up with the Flame Charge. This will be super effective onto Magnezone, gets a great hit as well, and there's a speed boost for Lapras. On top of that, Copperajah is going to go for the Wild Bolt Storm, and Lapras is able to hold on after that super effective move, also doing damage to Avalugg, and there is Copperajah feeling the effects of that bind that actually does more damage than it initially did, but Magnezone still with the speed control goes for the Thunder Wave. Instead of going for the easy elimination there on Lapras, it is going to leave it paralyzed, so it is going to slow it down and potentially make it unable to move, but this could be an easy target for Copperajah. However, Avalugg is going to go for the Pluck onto Magnezone. Not very effective, but it does take away its Leopard Berry and proceed to eat it right in front of it here. So far, Avalugg and Lapras are doing very well, but Copperajah is going to go for the Psych Up, so it's actually going to copy those stat changes of Avalugg here, who did have its speed lowered, but that has been reversed. Copperajah looking to capitalize, but Lapras is unable to move due to its paralysis, and Copperajah yet again feeling the effects of that bind. It has been put into knockout range. Magnezone, however, with the double team, it is going to boost its evasiveness, making it a harder target, and if you cannot hit it, you cannot eliminate it. Copperaja, though, is now quicker going with the Fell Stinger here onto Avalok. Very little damage as Avalok does respond with the Ancient Power, trying to finish off Copperaja, and it tanks that move. Not very effective. Copperaja is still in this matchup, but Lapras follows it up with the Victory Dance. Very early to be going for the Dance of Victory, especially with such low health, as it does boost its attack and defense, also boosted its speed, but I do not expect it to be very quick. It does have that paralysis to contend with, and there is that bind that is actually going to finish off Copperaja. The Mahogany Explorers have taken the first 2 eliminations against the Ula Macros. Have they underestimated the Explorers? But out comes Sandy Shocks, so surely not. Sandy Shocks will land in those spikes, but as the Terrestrial Draftee and paired with Magnezone, this tag team have been a fantastic duo for the Ula Macros. No wonder they've got them here together to take down the Mahogany Explorers, and they have that type advantage as well, as Sandy Shocks truly embraces this steel typing, and it has the speed control, immediately going for the Fury attack to get a very quick elimination of Lapras here. Only needed to connect with that single Fury attack. Lapras has been eliminated. The Macros get their first on the board, and Magnezone follows it up with the Heavy Slam. Super effective, although Avalok is able to tank that move with those heavy defenses, and it goes with the Mach Punch. That is actually super effective on Sandy Shocks, immediately seeing it as the threat it is. And now out comes Sneasler with that pressure ability that it will be exerting over the Macros. And Sneasler, yet another Terrestrial Pokemon coming out onto the field, who has truly embraced this Ice typing as well. It is going to be great to see both Sneasler and Sandy Shocks on the field, going head to head against each other. Cannot wait to see who comes out on top between those two, but Sneasler, with the speed advantage, immediately goes for the Grass Knot, focusing in on Magnezone. It's not very effective, doing very little damage. This allows Sandy Shocks to go with the Thunderbolt, and it is focusing in on Sneasler. Gets a fantastic connection, and it's left it paralyzed as well, just like we saw with Lapras. It will be slowed down and possibly unable to move. Magnezone follows up with the Thunder Fang on to Avalok, putting it in knockout range, and Avalok is left with the paralysis as well. Every Explorer we've seen on the field has been paralyzed, but the Ceaseless Edge from Avalok puts Magnezone into knockout range, and there are more spikes now on the side of the Ula Macros. Sandy Shocks, intelligently going with the Defog, lowering that evasiveness of Avalok, but it clears the spikes from the side of the Macros, and Magnezone follows up with the Heart Swap. Now focusing in on Avalok, switching their stat changes with each other, and Sneasler is unable to move due to its paralysis. Avalok having to do its part, who's been in since the start as well, goes with the Zen Headbutt, and it eliminates Magnezone with that not very effective move, but effective enough to get the job done, as out comes Lucario. And Sandy Shocks is going to go with the triple kick here onto Sneasler. Gets that first one, it gets the second one, putting it in knockout range if it gets the third, and it is going to eliminate Sneasler from this matchup with a critical hit as well for good measure, not letting the Explorers take too much of a lead in this matchup. Sandy Shocks has taken Sneasler out, and Lucario is going to be able to try and follow up here by trying to take down Avalok, who I said has been in since the start, and it goes with the block onto Avalok instead of going for the easy elimination, making it so it can no longer escape. Not that it's looking to run away. Avalok is having a great showing, going with the Waterfall onto Sandy Shocks, gets another good connection onto Sandy Shocks, as out comes Cryogonal for the Mahogany Explorers, and immediately it's going to go with the Stomping Tantrum to eliminate Sandy Shocks from this match with that super effective move. The Explorers were well aware of what Sandy Shocks has been capable of this season. There's only 2 Pokemon remaining for the Macros. There's still 4 for the Explorers. Lucario, though, with the Darkest Lariat, immediately going on the offensive, gets a great hit onto Cryogonal as well, and Avalok is unable to move due to its paralysis, and it is in knockout range, remember, as out comes King Gambit, exerting that pressure over the Explorers. Now Cryogonal is still the quickest on the field, immediately going with the Incinerate, connecting for super effective damage on both Lucario and King Gambit, and burning up their Leper Berries in the process. Lucario, though, is going to respond with the Roar of Time, and Avalok is able to avoid that move. King Gambit, though, is going to follow it up with the Sandsear Storm. This will not work on Cryogonal due to its Levitate ability, but Avalok has finally been eliminated from this matchup. There's only 3 Pokemon remaining for the Explorers, and it is Cloyster who comes out next, but Cryogonal first is going to go for the Sticky Web. Unfortunately, this will not matter because this entry hazard, there's no Pokemon left on the side of the Macros. Lucario, looking to capitalize, goes with the Moonblast, putting Cryogonal into knockout range. Cloyster though with the first impression, and that is how you make a first impression, as King Gambit does respond with the Ice Hammer, but Cloyster is able to avoid that attack. This allows Cryogonal to go for the Heart Swap onto King Gambit here, so they are going to switch any stat changes. Not that King Gambit, I believe, has had any changes yet, but we get the false swipe onto Cryogonal from Lucario. That is not a shiny Cryogonal, and the Bitter Blade from Cloyster, it's going to eliminate King Gambit with that super effective move. Lucario is all by itself. It has a massive type advantage over the Explorers, though. The Jaw Lock from Cryogonal not very effective onto Lucario, and it's activated that Justified ability, so it just got a boosted physical attack that's already base 110. Lucario is going to respond with the Psy Strike, and it's going to take Cryogonal out of this matchup. Can it take down 3 Ice types? Cloyster will be responding first, and it goes for the Bulldoze. This will be super effective, and it eliminates Lucario. The Mahogany Explorers have actually defeated the Ula Ula Macros. They've ended the Ula Ula Macros win streak in incredible fashion. We don't even know who the last Pokemon remaining on the bench was. The Mahogany Explorers are for real. They've just moved up into second place, and next round they will be going up against the Lumiose Yellows, whereas for the Macros who just lost their first game, next round they will be going up against the Viridian Magma. And it was those ground type moves that were taking out the Macros. But with that said, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.